What kind of mayor would I be if I stood by and let someone go in the bank and write a check on us?
Well, the city of Stone Mountain is now investigating its mayor after the city manager discovered that she made herself the only person allowed to access city bank accounts.
Now, council members believe she may have violated the city's charter.
Are you guys thinking that there may be more to the story, like she may have embezzled money or taken money from the city?
Another mayor, another shady money move, and another mess from a mayor. So this time we are in Stone Mountain, Georgia, where Mayor Beverly Jones decided that the rules didn't apply to her and took complete control of the city's bank accounts. Like she was running an entire enterprise. She made herself the only person that could touch the money. No warning, no approval, no accountability.
Here.
Why weren't the other signatories added back to the city account sooner?
Thank you all for being here. I certainly appreciate it.
Here's what we're going to answer in this video. How did Mayor Beverly Jones manage to lock everyone out of the city's bank accounts without anyone noticing? Was this just sloppy leadership or something darker like a quiet financial coup? And what happens when a mayor tries to outmaneuver the entire city council and gets caught holding the bag?
The investigation should clear all like the logistics and the facts. So I'm eager to see what the results of that are.
Where is the proof? You know, where's the evidence that things are as they are being claimed?
But before we rewind and break all of this down, let me hit you with something really quick. While we got small town mayors playing fast and loose with the city's funds, the feds are also investigating some of the biggest Medicare companies in the country for straight up scamming seniors. Real wolves in healthcare clothing. That's why I teamed up with Chapter. They're not like the other companies under federal heat. Chapter compares every Medicare plan out there, over 24,000 of them. So you or your folks can find one that actually fits, not just the one that makes someone else rich. You talk to a real person, the help is always free, and folks who have worked with Chapter have saved over $1,100 a year on average. Call 262-454-0419. Again, that is 262-454-0419. You can check the link in the pinned comment below or in the description box. Now, let's get back to it. Back on April 2nd, 2024, Mayor Jones walked into a bank branch and made a move that shocked everyone, except maybe herself. She removed every other name from several key city accounts, including the city's payroll, stormwater utility funds, and American Rescue Plan dollars, and even the Downtown Development Authority account. When the dust was settled, she was the only one left with access. That's right, she made herself the sole authorized signer, no one else. And before you ask, no, the city council didn't approve this. The charter did not allow this, and the public definitely didn't know anything about it. It was only discovered weeks later when the city manager tried to initiate a wire transfer and was denied. That's when the red flag started going up, and it wasn't a small one. It was like someone shot a flare gun in City Hall.
Or put the city at risk. You could go tomorrow and go to any other country and take every dime the city has. But nobody looks at it that way.
Okay, first and foremost, I did not take your names. I did not authorize for
Well,
your names.
here's the forms that have only your name on.
So let's talk about why this move was such a big deal. In Stone Mountain, like most functional cities, financial controls exist for a reason. The city charter is very clear. There must be 2 signatures on transactions. Always. That's to prevent this kind of unilateral control. No one person, not even the mayor, is supposed to have exclusive access to public funds. That's called checks and balances. Without it, you're just running a petty kingdom with taxpayer money, like you're the queen of chaos in a crown made of bad decisions. So when Jones made herself the sole gatekeeper to the city cash, she didn't just overstep, she stomped all over the law, the ethics and the trust of people that she's supposed to be serving. And she did this in silence, like a magician trying to pull off a disappearing act with the city's checkbook. Once the city council found out, they immediately took action. On May 6th, they passed a resolution to strip her of that authority and put the city manager back as a co-signer.
The charter was not adhered to the T, because of course she is the mayor, which they says the mayor and other individuals. That part is what we had a concern with.
There was no intention to change an account. That was not the premise of it.
That wasn't just a slap on the wrist, that was damage control. They had to re-secure access to their own bank accounts because the mayor locked them out like she was changing the Netflix password during the breakup. And remember the DDA, that's the Downtown Development Authority. It's legally separated from the city government. Different board, different rules. And yet, Mayor Jones marched in and took over that account too, triggering even more outrage. One of the more telling moments came when the mayor pro temp's wife filed a police report claiming financial fraud, an actual criminal report, not just a formal complaint. You don't file something like that unless you know there's some real wrongdoing. So let's talk about Mayor Jones' defense. What she's gonna possibly say to make this seem okay. I mean, what is her excuse for taking over the bank accounts without anyone knowing and only her being in charge of the entire account? She says that she was just responding to a cybersecurity issue flagged by the bank. According to her, the bank notified her that the old signers were still on accounts and people who no longer work for the city. So she acted. She said this was about protecting the city, not grabbing power.
Office. I swore that I would do my best for the city of Stone Mountain. And that is why I am here today, because I took that oath. I want to say that on the 28th of March of this year, I was asked to come to Truist Bank because they found a situation that needed my attention. That situation was there were 4 employees that no longer work for the city of Stone Mountain. There were 4 employees that no longer work for the city of Stone Mountain. My purpose and my sole purpose was going there was to take them off the signature card.
That doesn't make a whole lot of sense, because even if you give her the benefit of the doubt for a hot second, the way that she handled it didn't make any sense. Why remove the current city manager? Why not notify the council immediately? Why take over the account that's not even under your control, like the DDA's? Why wait until after you got caught trying to restore access? There's a lot of questions, and the problem is the excuses don't hold up. She didn't just remove outdated signers. She removed everyone, including those legally in place. She didn't just adjust access. She centralized it under herself and herself only. And she didn't tell anyone until it became a problem. Then, and only then, that she called a press conference to say that the people were overreacting and calling the whole thing a witch hunt. Classic playbook. When in doubt, blame the bank and just claim that you were just misunderstood. This was just some political retaliation, that kind of crap.
Not only to clear my name, but to let the citizens know what kind of mayor that they have.
She did not clear up questions about how she ended up with sole authority of city bank accounts for weeks, saying she was advised not to take questions due to possible litigation.
It's like spilling red wine on someone else's rug and saying that you were just trying to protect it from water damage. Now here's where it gets even more bizarre. The council found out that she consulted with the city attorney before making the changes. That same attorney, he was fired just days later. On May 12th, the council voted to terminate him and bring in an independent investigator to figure out what actually happened. What really happened? So this raised a lot of questions. Was the attorney complicit? Was he in on it? Was he ignored? Or was he just a fall guy for a bad call? Either way, it's extremely messy, and it paints a picture of a mayor who doesn't think that she has to follow the same rules as everyone else. Whether this was just an incompetence or intentional doesn't even matter at this point, because at the end result is the same. Mayor Beverly Jones tried to run Stone Mountain's money without any oversight. And we've seen this so many times. I mean, seriously, look at this. We've seen this before. You don't need millions of dollars to have a corruption problem. It doesn't have to be a federal RICO case to be shady. These kinds of local level power grabs are often harder to catch because they don't make a lot of national headlines, but they matter just as much because they're happening in the places that we live across the country. And when one person controls all the money, that's how bad decisions get made. That's how the funds disappear. That's how public services break down. That's how trust between the people and their leaders get flushed down like an old dead goldfish. Even if Mayor Jones didn't personally take a dime, the fact that she maneuvered herself into sole control of the public money without alerting the public or the council is enough to raise every alarm in the book. If this was a corporation, she would have been escorted out of the building in a blazer and handcuffs. But in local government, you get a press conference and just use this was just a misunderstanding headline. This was just miscommunication. It's not a big deal. People are overreacting. That's why the independent investigation is still underway. Council members are rattled. The residents are worried and concerned. And you better believe that every financial report, every past transaction, every vendor payout is about to get a second look. We have covered a lot of corrupt mayors on this channel. We've talked about people who've lied, stole, padded payrolls, ghost hired, friends, you name it. But this right here was very slick. It was very quiet. It was almost invisible. And that's what makes it dangerous. because it shows that how easy is it for someone with a little authority and a lot of nerve to sidestep democracy and do whatever the hell they want. All it takes is one meeting at a bank, a few signatures, and then boom, full control. If nobody had noticed, how long would she have kept that power? How long would city staff would have been locked out? What decisions might she have had made with no one looking over her shoulder? We don't know that yet. The people of Stone Mountain need to know what's going on. The taxpayers who fund the city deserve transparency. And every mayor watching this needs to understand the public may be slow to catch on, but once they do, they don't forget. So, Mayor Beverly Jones, if you thought you're going to slide this one through, you thought wrong, because now the spotlight is on you and the people are watching. So we're going to see exactly what happens in this situation. To see if any money is missing, we'll definitely check this story. If you want to continue to watch this kind of content, we're exposing corruption and staying ahead of the chaos, make sure you subscribe to the channel. You do not want to miss what's next. Also, if you want to support the channel and get early access to exclusive videos, hit up my Patreon. The link will be in the description below. And don't forget to sign up for my email newsletter. It's the best way to stay locked in even when the algorithm is playing games. The link is in the description as well. Let me know what you guys think about this story in the comments below. Thank you for taking time to watch this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.